The only good thing about being single is that I can drink whatever I want and not be harassed. I expected more than that. Both kids had been gone a long time and had completely cut the umbilical cord. I figured Norma and I would finally be able to relax and enjoy each other. That never happened. I tried everything: flowers, candlelight dinners, trips to the theater, and the like. Nothing seemed to work. We still slept together, but sex was very rare, and what we had was mediocre at best. I wasn't really looking for sex, but I was hoping for a little romance. I know that sounds silly coming from a man, but it was all I was looking for. Norma wasn't mean or nasty. She hadn't turned into a Megara or a nasty hag. She just wasn't interested. I didn't expect to live with her for the next 30 years. I think a lot of that was due to her job. I was still working as a claims inspector. It was a relaxing job, and I handled it without much stress. Norma's job, however, was a little more challenging. Norma worked as an editor for a textbook publisher in Baltimore. It was a 2-hour drive from our home. She worked there for about 5 years. She loved what she did, and I guess she was good at it. She never complained about the long drive or the separation. Yes, the separation. She went to Baltimore on Monday and came back on Friday. I kept proving and proving that she could do whatever she was doing from home, but she insisted that she had to be there to do it right. I tried to convince her to give it up completely, but she refused. She claimed she needed the stimulation that comes with work to keep from going crazy. I always tried to have a nice dinner ready for her when she got home on Friday night. I usually made it on time, but sometimes things would get out of hand. I solved the problem by using a location app on my smartphone. Now I always knew when she left work and how soon she was supposed to be home. This made meal preparation much easier. However, there was one small nuance that confused me. The trip to Baltimore on Mondays always took about 2 hours. The return trip on Fridays by the same route usually took 3 hours. I was interested, but not interested enough to argue with her. The following Friday, I sat at my computer and followed her trip closely. Everything seemed to be in order until she drove east toward York. She pulled over. There was no traffic for about 50 minutes. Then it resumed. The rest of the trip went as expected. When she got home, there was already baked salmon on the table. I didn't even bother to question her about where she was staying. In all the years Norma had worked away from home, I had never had reason to doubt her loyalty. Now I wasn't so sure. If she wanted to have fun, it would have been easy for her to do so, and I wouldn't have known anything. However, it seemed to me that she wouldn't. I waited for the following Friday. When she stopped in York again, I wrote down the coordinates on the GPS. This time she was there for over an hour. I baked ziti for dinner. It took me an hour to get to the correct coordinates. There was a gas station, a vet clinic, and an adult video store. I picked the most obvious one. It was the same as all the other adult stores: books, videos, toys, and magazines. The guy behind the raised counter was also exactly what you'd expect to see. "Hi, I was wondering if you could help me out." $5 minimum. He didn't even look in my direction. I gave him a 10 and tried again. "It's our good friend's birthday and we're looking for a place to take him. We were hoping to find a place that has some working places for entertainment. Is there anything in the area that you might know of?" "Are you a police officer?" he asked. "No, why did you ask?" I had to ask. He rotated some papers and leaned toward me. "We have 2 girls for pleasure. The girls who go in them don't work for us. They come here of their own volition. Of course, they don't have a fixed schedule, but there are a few regular damsels who work on a schedule." "When would be the best time to invite him?" "There are 2 local ladies who come here every weekday from noon to 1 p.m. I think that's their lunchtime snack." "That's a joke." I wrinkled my nose slightly at the humor. "There are a couple of girls here almost every night from 7 to 10. Oh yeah, one of my favorites is an older lady who comes in every Friday between 5 and 6. She's a little wordy and not very friendly, but she does amazing things. It's been interesting." "Okay, thank you very much. I think we'll try it maybe next Friday. I'll just keep those quarters until then." On the way home, I did a lot of thinking. By the time I got there, I was frantic. My personal and sex life was in complete decline, and she was doing things to all comers. It's unknown what she was doing in Baltimore all week. My parents moved to Ocala about 3 years ago. Norma's father lived in Frackville, but her mother died of an aneurysm. Hi, Dave. This is John, your favorite son-in-law. How are you doing? You're my only son-in-law, you idiot. I'm doing fine. Is something wrong? No, everything's fine. If you're not busy on Friday, I was wondering if you'd like to come with me to the Harley factory in York. Hell yeah. I've always wanted to go on that tour. Will you pick me up or should I drive up? I'll pick you up. We'll spend the day in York and then come here for dinner with Norma on Friday night. Sounds like a plan, John. I'll see you Friday. The Harley tour was a big hit with Dave. He had 2 Harleys when he was younger and spent the day comparing the new ones to the ones he used to have. We stopped by a steampunk hobby store and then went to a gallery. I needed some way to kill time before 5 o'clock. The restaurant patio was empty. Dave, do you know what a glory hole is? Hell yes, I do. I've never been there, but I've watched a lot of videos. I thought maybe we could stop by one of them before we head home. We have about an hour to kill time somehow, and I know one of them is very close by. Do you think there will be girls there at this time of day? I'm not sure, but I'm willing to give it a try. You up for it? Yeah. Wait till the guys at the VA club hear about it. I was killing time till about 5:15. Norma's Civic was parked at the back of the building. I waved a wad of quarters at the cashier. He smiled and pointed us to booth 4. Use the 3rd or 5th stall and wait your turn. You won't be disappointed. I handed Dave a wad of quarters and wandered around the store while he went into the 5th stall. 20 minutes later, we were on our way home. I couldn't help but laugh when I saw the wide smile on my father-in-law's face. He hadn't guessed a thing. As we drove, I called the Surin of Thailand restaurant and ordered a full plate of Thai food. 40 minutes later, Dave and I were already setting the dinner table, waiting for Norma to get home. About halfway through dinner, Norma couldn't hold back any longer. Dad, what the hell's the matter with you? You're smiling like a little kid. I haven't seen you act like that in years. What did you guys do to make all this happen? I'm sure the trip to the motorcycle factory wasn't all that exciting. I'm sorry, Norma, I can't tell you. It's very personal, and a father wouldn't discuss it with his daughter. Let's just say I had a wonderful time, and it's all thanks to John. We finished our meal without discussing the matter any further. Dave decided he would rather go home than stay the night. As we were heading out the door, Norma stopped me. Where the hell did you carry him? I leaned over and whispered in her ear. I took him to the glory hole in York. As I closed the door, I heard her vomiting in the hallway. All the way to Frackville, I was smiling broadly. By the time I got home, it was past 10. I slept in a recliner in the common room. I didn't want to disturb my wife. It was a quiet weekend. There were no confrontations or even conversations. I spent all of Saturday working in the yard and all of Sunday cleaning out the garage. It's amazing how little work can take up a lot of time. Mealtime was casual, but quiet. I slept in the master bedroom, but there was no intimacy between us. We didn't do it intentionally. It just happened. Norma left for work Monday morning but returned in the evening. In her car were all her personal belongings and clothes that she had stored in Baltimore. I didn't ask, but she said she quit her job. There was no further explanation or discussion. I didn't insist. I registered on a dating site.